Hello everyone, I'm Retaliate, and if you're watching this, we did it! We hit 500 subscribers! Oh my goodness gracious. You guys hit it so fast, I'm barely recording this, and I think we're already at 520. I'm gonna get this video out, and I'm gonna already have over 600 or something at that point. Oh my gosh. I'll do better next time. But I digress. We're gonna get into it. I've got a few questions to get through. I posted this video all over the place on TikTok, YouTube, and other social medias. But the full video is only getting posted to YouTube, so you guys are the lucky ones. Let's get right into it. The first question's from Firestorm. I'd love to know more about Nova Nexus. I'm a dragon as well. Her name is Firestorm. Well, you got the username to match, so that's amazing. Nova Nexus has a very rich backstory that largely lives in my brain. A lot of it is also on my Discord, so if you want to read more about it that I don't necessarily share here right now, you can absolutely go over there. The basics of Nova Nexus is that it is a world where the people we know as VTubers, over there they're called avatars, in quotation. And the reason they're called that is because a group of scientists discovered that there's a way to enter into the multiverse, so to speak. Only with your mind, though. They use this ability to send the avatars' minds over there and almost trade places for a little while. The people go over there, record their content, and come back to show it to the people of Nova Nexus. Of course, it didn't really go over well when the technology went haywire and the scientists started taking control of the minds instead of transferring them over. And that's kind of where Rhetta's story begins. Again, if you want to read more, there's more on Discord. Question number 2 from Count Julius. I know you. He asks, do you know the Muffin Man? I do. That guy owes me a cake. Gerald, you know what you did. Pentadeuce says, wait, did you make a card game? I did not. I did not make a card game, but I am part of a card game. The card game's called Waifu Wars, and it's produced by a guy who goes by the moniker John Waifu. There is a Rhetta card already in it, and a couple more coming out with Wave 2. So if you are entertained by Rhetta or like her design, keep an eye out for those and maybe collect a few cards yourself. Sakorio asks, what's your opinion on Chicken Alfredo? Giving you a break from the craziness. Shockingly, haven't really received that many crazy videos, but I love Chicken Alfredo. Alfredo sauce, white sauce, I'm a sucker for that. I put it on pizza, put it on noodles, probably like shrimp and stuff. I don't know. Chicken Alfredo, amazing. Great question. Jake from Farm, a lot of numbers and letters following that, says, or asks, what advice can you give for someone who is aspiring to become a VTuber but doesn't know what to do or the motivation? When I first started VTubing, my motivation was I want to entertain people. That was basically the entire start for me. When I first created Rhetta, she had no backstory. She was this idea that I kind of mashed together from pieces of things that I liked at the time. Obviously, dragon being the main thing. Before the backstory existed, fun fact, the black and white hair was because I was currently watching Unis Honest at the time. That's how old Rhetta the character is, or rather, the design, I should say. For someone who's aspiring to become a VTuber, I would say don't worry about getting your own model to start. There are plenty of custom models out there for really cheap, all things considered. A custom model can be anywhere from $500 to a few thousand generally. So if you're just starting out and you're not really making money yet, I would try not to put too much money into it until you start getting that money back. As for your own motivation, I can't really speak for any one person. I have big aspirations for this channel and for everything I want to do as a VTuber and as a person creating content. But generally, starting out, just wanting to entertain was really enough for me to get going. Amazing question, by the way. Now I feel like I have to say that for every single one. No, genuinely, great job. on your question. Moving on. Hello, this is Rhetta from a few days later after I recorded the rest of this video. I'm coming back to this question because I thought of more advice, and maybe I should just make a whole video, but I'm going to add this real quick because I feel like it's important. And while, yes, I still think that not thinking about, making big purchases before you actually make it is important, I thought of it today, and it feels almost more so. And this advice is be prepared to put in a lot of work. As someone who only recently started editing her own shorts for TikTok and YouTube, I've noticed a stark difference from before I edited them and after. I used to just kind of grab clips from Twitch and slap them onto TikTok and just kind of hope they blew up, right? But then I was like, okay, well, let me try something. And I figured out a few small ways to edit it on TikTok, and those kind of saved my life. Not really, but they made them look better, right? So if you're starting out and you're streaming and stuff, don't just stream. Make sure you're collecting your own clips. Make sure you're editing them and putting them on all the platforms and tagging them with tags that are relevant to them so people who are looking for that kind of content find you. It's a game changer, genuinely. Lurker_504, a regular watcher of my streams, asks, are you holding out on playing/watching anything because of stream? For example, not watching a TV show because you want to watch it with others and talk about it on stream, podcast style, or maybe community events where you experience it for the first time, or saving a game to play because there's still updates coming, or just haven't gotten around to playing and want to do it on stream with audience so you can react live. Yes, I have. There are plenty of games on my Steam account that I already have, and they only pile up more. Some of them are still on there, sitting and collecting dust, because I don't want to play them live. Whether they be a cozy game I just want to play when I turn my brain off in the evening, or a game that just doesn't fit my streaming style that I'd rather play on my own or with other people offline. And then there are the games that I want to play but haven't gone around to it because I'm playing other games that are filling up my stream schedule because I don't have enough time to play them all. As for watching shows, I've thought about doing movie reviews. I tried recording a video with some friends once, and it wasn't really my vibe. I felt like I was focusing too hard on what I needed to say about the movie to enjoy the movie. I still watch a lot of movies online. Streaming hasn't really stopped me from watching movies, to be honest. My movie collection of purchased movies is around 200 at this point, so it used to be more, actually. I had physical DVDs, and they're gone. For sad reasons, honestly. They're gone because we moved and forgot them. We left them behind. Oh no. It's fine, honestly. I re-upped my collection digitally, so now I have a bunch of digital movies. But I hope that answered your question. I would love to do watch parties at some point. Maybe show some of my favorite movies or something with chat. I don't know the logistics of that or the legality because I know copyright infringement is a thing, but if I can figure that out, I think it'd be fun to do movie reviews. This person asks to hide their name. They ask, if you had the option, would you play as Rhetta in a D&D campaign? In a heartbeat. I am currently in 4 D&D campaigns. There was a time I was talking with another group about potentially joining with Rhetta as my character motivation. It didn't work out, unfortunately, but I would love to play her as a character, maybe before she became, the overpowered creation that she is today. But yes, absolutely. Please, somebody. Maybe when I'm not playing 4 campaigns anymore. This person also wants their name cropped. What is the inspiration behind your VTube character? As I said in a previous question, her original design was a mishmash of things that I liked. Her new motivation now, as the character, is the world of Nova Nexus. Actually, it's really funny. It came to me in a dream Literally. I first made her. I had no idea. I love lore. So I wanted to do something with that. I wanted to create something big for her so she can be more than just an avatar for me. And I had a dream that I was Rhetta in an apocalypse, saving a bunch of people and bringing them to this huge mall that had been repurposed into a sanctuary. I woke up, I wrote it down, and I decided that's the start. That's the basis for her backstory. And it's only gotten bigger from there. Jason Letters and Numbers asks, what was your motivation to be a VTuber? As I said before, largely, I love to entertain. I took improv in high school, learned that I loved the stage, but not necessarily being physically the face, right? Having the character allowed me to have a face without showing my face, which is, I guess, a weird way to say it, but I don't really know how else to describe that. I suppose another thing about my motivation is I want to be big enough to be able to help other people. I would love to host charity live streams. I would love to do big events that people could be part of, could just be a part of something, you know, bigger than themselves in a sense, and just being able to host something like that is something that I feel like is one of my great purposes in life. And I would just love to be able to do more as the channel grows. Angelica_VTuber asks, what would be your I made it moment in VTubing? That's really good. I think if I talk to someone in public and they're like, whoa, you sound like Retaliate. And then I can go, oh, dang, who's that? That's crazy, or something. I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't be like, yep, that's me. Depends on my mood, honestly. But if I'm well known enough to that point where someone is just like, your voice is familiar, that's a pretty solid, you made it moment. I think other than that, you know, once I hit 100K on either YouTube or Twitch, I'll be like, yeah, I'm there. I'm one of them. I'm up in the sky. Look at me flying over you. I'm kidding. Obviously, I would land to say hello. BoxDude115 asks, do you have a figure collection? Parentheses, I'm new. End parentheses. Well, BoxDude, welcome to the channel. First of all, hello. Glad to have you here. Welcome to the sanctuary. I do not have a figure collection, but I do have a fair few posters. I got a lot of Pokemon plushies that I've collected over time, and I have quite the manga collection as well. So no figures yet, although I do want to start eventually. I do also have a lot of trading cards. Trading card games, I'm a sucker for the cards. I love card art, as evidenced by Rhetta already being in one. But not yet. No, I do not have figures. Thank you for asking. I hope you enjoy your stay. Lunar-6H6 asks, do you like ghosts? If so or if not, what would you do if you had one living and chilling in your home? Now, I don't know if I believe in ghosts as they are called in most media sense. That's gonna sound weird with what I say next, because I'm a Christian, so I believe in devils and demons and angels, and so in a sense that means I believe in spirits. So do I believe they can reside in my home? Absolutely. Whether I know they are good or bad is another story. So if I found one living in my home, it really depends on the type. If it's friendly, chillin', not bugging me or my kids, sure. You hang out, don't mess with my electronics, please. I need to stream. If it's mean, please remove yourself immediately. I'm not a fan. Thank you. CocoBearXC asks, why did you pick a storm dragon? Why not an earth or a fire dragon? Cocobear, for those who don't know, is my best friend. Aside from my husband, who is my, best, obviously, the best. I'm using you can't see it, but I'm using my hands. Up, down. Yes? You get it? You with me? Let's move on. I picked a storm dragon because I thought it would be fun and maybe unique. Fire dragons to me are quite basic and common, and I did not want to be that. No offense to people who are dragons that are fire dragons. By the way, you're amazing, okay? No offense to you. I wanted I'm different, okay? I'm not like other dragons. I've made a couple of ice dragon characters, and I was very tempted to make Rhetta an ice dragon as well, but I was like, no, different. So I started with Storm Dragon, built up her lore, built up her backstory, and she turned into kind of like a space dragon instead. Also, in the dream that I had of her in an apocalypse, she made a tornado. So I was like, all right, whatever that's doing, that's what we're doing. That's pretty much it. Wanted to be unique. Found out there are quite a few Storm Dragon VTubers out there, which is honestly amazing. Adihas3327 asks, what's your go-to snack or snacks? Oreos. I love Oreos. I haven't had them in a while, actually. I might go out and buy some now that I'm thinking about it. Aside from that, I love chocolate in general. Kinder Bueno is my current favorite candy. I loved Twix for a long time. Twix is still probably 1 or 2. You know, I'll probably end up going back to Twix because I can't stay away. But snack-wise, those are great. I don't do great with spice, but I love Flamin' Hot Cheetos fries. I can't explain it, but for some reason, I can handle spice if it's Flamin' Hot Cheetos fries. And also their new one where they don't have they took the color out of it, right? But it's still Hot Cheetos. Those were fantastic. At the Agent Prime asks, almost 500, why am I only now just finding you? Well, at the Agent Prime, that's a great question. I'm glad you found me now, by the way. Thank you for finding me. Welcome to the group. But let me put it this way. Markiplier has over 30 million subscribers, and I've met people who don't know who he is. So the fact that you found me at a mere measly 500 subscribers, I think, is fantastic. You're one of the early ones, one of the founders of this channel. I'm gonna remember this one day, I think. Probably. I'm gonna look back and be like, I remember when the Agent Prime joined. You're famous now. At SplatterKing1171 asks, so, abs, am I right? You are right. I built Rhetta for me. While I built the channel to entertain all of you, Rhetta the character, I said, what do I want? This is something that I'm looking at every day. Abs. Please and thank you. At World Doge asks, what's the best game ever played and worst game ever played? Parentheses, I asked both of y'all. End parentheses. I'm not sure what you mean by both of y'all. Are you talking to Chaser? Chaser, answer the question. Yes, you have to speak. Well, fine, I'll answer it myself. And you know what? You can answer after I answer. How about that? Okay? Think about your answer. Okay? As for my answer, the best game I've ever played, it's hard to say, best. What is best, right? But my favorite game, I would say, is Buckshot Roulette. And that's odd, I feel like, because I play a lot of long-form games, but it's fast-paced, and I love the multiplayer. I love getting in. I love the random chance of it all, but twisting things in your favor with the items. It's such a simple concept to turn dark and horror because of the roulette aspect, right? And I'm not sure how else to say that without it making it sound like I'm a crazy person. As for the worst game ever played, it's hard to say as well, best and worst. But there was a game, it's called Deadly Quiet. I tried to play it with a group of people and it would not play. We loaded into the game, I couldn't move. I could only kind of look around. The game crashed several times. Overall, it was unplayable. Granted, it wasn't finished. The devs in the notes were saying they were updating it, but then after we finished playing, I checked the notes and they said they were taking a break for a few months. And that annoyed me. And that's why this game is the one that I'm remembering right now. Deadly Quiet devs, I'm so sorry. I hope your game gets updated to the point where I can play it again, because I would love to update my opinion of it. But for now, I'm not the biggest fan. I was excited. I like Wendigos. I love them. And I couldn't even see one. Never got to.
Hey everybody, it's Chaser here, Rhetta's editor. Good to meet everyone, officially. The question asked is, what is the best game ever and the worst game I have ever played? Let me be clear that Mr. Doge was definitely not talking about me when he said he asked both of us. He probably meant that Rhetta and Rhetta are two different people. So he's probably asking, what does Rhetta the character enjoy and hate, and what does Rhetta the person enjoy and hate? But I'll answer anyways because it's fun. The best game ever is easily Terraria, of course. It is
perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
I mean, it has everything. Great progression. It's really fun. Creativity. You can play with friends or alone. It's great either way. It has an ending. I mean, it's just perfect. It's just perfect down to
the last minute details.
Now, the worst game ever played is a much more difficult choice. I have played a lot of garbage in my time. And whenever someone says the worst game they've ever played, they could mean a great many things. It could be mechanically bad, the writing could be bad, could be dialogue that's killing the game, it could be a great number of things. But when most people say the worst game they've ever played, they're being a little hyperbolic, because what they're really saying is, this game did not live up to the hype that I had for it. So a lot of games that maybe aren't literally the worst thing you've ever played, you could maybe say they're really bad and you'd consider them the worst you've ever played. So that's why my pick for the worst game I've ever played is Starfield. Now, that's not because Starfield is actually mechanically the worst thing I've ever played, obviously, but compared to the hopes that I had for the game, it was a crying shame. Extremely disappointing. So yeah, that's my picks. Terraria and Starfield is best and worst. Thank you for listening to this part of the video, I guess. Anyways, back to Rhetta.
Well, that looks like all the questions. Thank you so much to everyone who asked me questions and participated in the comments. I hope to do more events like this in the future, you know, bigger and better. My idea for 1000 is to let my friends roast me, but if you have a better idea, please let me know, because I don't know if I want to let my friends roast me. Help me get out of this. Help me get out of the friend roast by giving me a better idea. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing if you've made it this far. And I'll see you in the next storm. Bye-bye! Hey guys, I brought my lunch. Answer Magic the Gathering. Just kidding. It's more Magic the Gathering. I got a lot of cards.